Hey, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. Got a couple different interesting things that I want to share with you today. I think you're going to find a lot of value in this information because in just a minute, I'm going to share with you my price targets at which levels I'll be looking to pick up more Bitcoin. But before we take a look at this, I want to take a look at some on-chain data and talk big picture. And let me set this up like this. Imagine being an early investor in gold before gold was known to be a solid investment, before gold was known to be a proven store value. What would you look for? What would you look for as a green flag that would help indicate to you, again, we're talking about in gold's early days, what would you look for as a green flag that would help indicate to you that gold has a future and that you're smart for accumulating gold? Well, you'd probably try and figure out if any other people were buying, you'd probably try and figure out if there was a demand, if the network effect was increasing, to what degree is the network effect increasing, in what way is it increasing. So imagine being able to see the data for gold's adoption in its early years. That would be amazing. With Bitcoin, this is possible. All information is stored on Bitcoin's blockchain, on Bitcoin's ledger. And while it's good that we can't see exactly who owns the Bitcoin, we can see money flowing in and out of the wallet addresses. Again, imagine if you were able to know this information in gold's early years. It would be invaluable. So the mainstream media will not show this to you. They will not articulate this to you. Most people don't know this information exists. Retail consumers are left in the dark only to FOMO in later. Smart money looks at this, and so will we, because here at Altcoin Daily, this is the kind of value that we provide. Like the video, support the channel. Let's take a look. Number of new addresses trending up, consolidating near upper resistance. Number of total addresses trending up, currently at all-time highs. Number of active addresses trending up, consolidating near the upper resistance. Number of addresses with a non-zero balance trending up, currently at all-time highs. Number of addresses with 0.1 Bitcoin. So number of addresses with about $90 worth of Bitcoin, trending up near all-time highs. Number of addresses with 0.1 Bitcoin. Well, that's about $900 worth of Bitcoin today, trending up and currently at all-time highs. Number of addresses with 1 Bitcoin, trending up and currently at all-time highs. Number of addresses with 10 Bitcoin. Well, that's trending up, but not as much. Looks like it's becoming harder and harder to accumulate 10 Bitcoin. Number of addresses with 100 Bitcoin, trending down. It's very hard to accumulate 100 Bitcoin nowadays. Now, at a certain period of time, it was a lot easier to accumulate 100 Bitcoin. And surely people who have been holding their 100 Bitcoin still today, well, that turned out to be a pretty smart move because it's very hard to do today. So eventually, we're going to get to a point where number of wallet addresses holding 1 Bitcoin will start to trend down like this. Eventually, it's going to become very hard and it's seemingly impossible to accumulate 1 Bitcoin. Think about that. So metrics that I just shared with you, this is exactly what I want to see. I'm bullish on Bitcoin's long-term future, and personally, I can't wait to see how Bitcoin and this whole space develops in the next 5 years. And by the way, if you want to stay informed, make sure you subscribe to our channel because we drop a video every single day. We keep you informed. Again, the mainstream media, they will not articulate this information to you. Realize that. Appreciate that. Now, with all that being said, although I'm long-term bullish, it still looks to me like Bitcoin's having trouble breaking above the $10,000 level of resistance. So let me share with you my buying targets. First of all, if Bitcoin can break the 10,200 level of resistance and spend some time sustaining above a price of 10,200, I would immediately flip short-term bullish. Until that happens, I'm short-term bearish. If Bitcoin breaks below the 8,500 level of support, well, I'd expect lower lows. So if we break above 10,200, I'm short-term bullish. If we break below 8,500, I'm short-term bearish. And it's also possible that we go down, but hold the 8,500 level, and then, I'd expect to move higher. But if we do break below 8,500, I would expect lower prices. So that being said, these are my targets. We have the yellow zone, the orange zone, and the red zone. These are arbitrary, levels put in place by me. Again, I'm just sharing with you what I'm thinking. You do you. So yellow zone is basically between $7,000 to $8,000, and I would be very happy to stack some Satoshis at this level. If we can get in the yellow zone, which I think is possible, I would spend, let's say I had $6,000 to invest. I'd probably invest $1,000 in this yellow zone. Now the orange zone, $6,000 to $7,000. Even if Bitcoin just touches the top part of the orange zone, I'd probably buy, because about 6,800 was the breakout point. And if we got to the orange zone, I'd probably invest $2,000 out of my 6,000. And if we got to the red zone, which is between $5,000 and $6,000, in my opinion, that would be a steal. I mean, right now, it's very hard for me to imagine Bitcoin getting to a price zone from 5,000 to 6,000 ever again. And if that happened, I'd invest $3,000 out of my $6,000. And then just looking at the overall shape of the price chart, to me, if it goes lower, we're going to look back and we're going to think, yeah, it was obviously going lower. Just like how we can look back 5 months ago and think, oh, it was obvious that it was going to go lower. All right, let's finish up today's video with some recent news. This story just dropped today. South Korea's central bank forms legal panel to advise on possible digital currency launch. Now, what I found most interesting about this is that the reason stated for doing this is because of the game theory. They're saying, we don't want to fall behind other countries. Check this out. We'll get into it. South Korea's central bank is moving ahead with research into digital currencies as it sets up a legal panel to advise on possible regulatory sticking points. Per an article in the Korea Times Monday, the Bank of Korea, BOK, said the 6-person panel, comprised of legal experts in the financial and IT sectors, as well as one specializing in fintech, would provide guidance and advice to the bank as it develops and tests a central bank digital currency, CBDC. We established the advisory group to discuss legal issues surrounding a CBDC and to figure out which laws need to be revised or enacted to smooth progress in the BOK's possible issuance of digital currencies, a BOK official told the Korea Times. This is the next phase in BOK's rapid reprisal of CBDCs. In December, when it set up its task force to look into digital currencies, it said it was more to keep an eye on what other countries were doing rather than to create something themselves. Well, all that changed in April when other countries, including Japan and the US, began moving faster than originally anticipated. Abandoning its wait-and-see approach, the BOK jumped in to a 22-month pilot program to develop and test a new CBDC that could be used to replace the physical cash. While the BOK is keeping its cards close to its chest, it has dropped a few hints. It appears the proposed CBDC, as it looks like now, would piggyback off the settlement system they and other central banks use to enable high-value transfers between financial institutions. So, if you're interested in finding more about the game theory associated with Bitcoin and CBDCs in this case, check out our video from yesterday, Bitcoin's Game Theory in Full Effect. In this video, you're going to find out more about how Bitcoin's game theory is going to make, people don't want to miss out. And speaking about our past videos, that goes along with this next piece of news. Again, this piece of news just dropped today from CoinDesk. JP Morgan analyst, Bitcoin is likely to survive as a speculative asset. And most of you already watched this, but we dropped that information 2 days ago now. JP Morgan's extraordinary moves into Bitcoin, the great cryptocurrency conspiracy of 2020. In this video, I break it down all the way since 2017, what JP Morgan has said, which is different from their actions. And you can see, a timeline of basically JP Morgan saying this is the exact opposite of what they used to say. And it's pretty interesting. And that is it for me today, my friends. My name is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. See you tomorrow.
definitely the biggest critique of Bitcoin ever is if you watch the Flat Earth documentary and you just see these people and they're just so optimistic, and then they say things like, "How long do you think it will be until the flat Earth theory is taught in schools or is and then they'll be like, yeah, anytime, it's just around the corner. We just need to just keep everyone just keep hodling the flat Earth theory, and you're like, oh no, like this is what people can believe." But